Mr. Miyagi, that cat hair floating around. You guys see those ninja reflexes? Everything working? We live? I'm just gonna continue like everything's okay. Okay. All right, I just want to make sure. I wanted to make sure we were okay. Hello? Finally? Yeah, I know. Okay. I know. Look. Look, I don't know what to tell you. All right? I had like a hard time getting out of bed today. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, I was just tired. I worked really hard on yesterday's video, so it took me a lot longer to edit and get everything all put together and all that good stuff before I felt like I was chilling. You know what I mean? Before I felt like I was chilling. I don't think I even played any games yesterday. I played like a little bit of like Magic the Gathering Arena. About it. It's about it. Open some magic packs. Crack the vein, man. Give me some of that juice. What's going on? New here, but I'm gonna lurk if you don't mind. Knock yourself out. Welcome, friend. I'm watching Black Myth Wukong as a wake-up call while getting the stream up notification. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I make sure to put, I try to make sure that, like, when I know that I'm going to go live the next day, I try to make sure that I post the video, and then after I post the video, I put a link to the stream, so then that way I can, you know, funnel them in. You know what I mean? Still trying to work my way up to about like 10K followers on Twitch. It's a long road, man. It's a long road. I gotta get those numbers up. Notification squad, that's what's up. On chapter 6 with Wukong, the secret boss is something crazy. Yeah, the secret bosses in that game in general, Tickle, thank you for the biddies. The secret bosses and stuff like that are just crazy in that game. Holy, I ended up finding so I did this one quest and got this like dragon scale item, which then allowed me to be able to go behind waterfalls. So then I ended up popping in like behind these waterfalls, and you fight these like the Luong bosses, like the dragon bosses. So I fought a couple of those, which gives you materials that and now it took a while. It actually took almost until like end of chapter 3 or so before the game finally was like, oh hey, you're gonna use those materials to be able to make a dragon staff. And I'm like, oh wow, doesn't that sound nice? Keeps hitting me with like 30 to 40 second combos. It just yikes. Yeah. Post the video and then post a link to the stream so you can funnel them in. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, usually if I post a video and I know I'm going to go live the next day, I'll post a link to the Twitch. So then that way, you know, if people are like, I really like watching this guy, his videos are great, maybe he's, you know, as cool to watch live. I mean, they'll find out how wrong they are, but at least they'll follow the link regardless. But yeah, it's Black Myth has just been a lot of fun. It's just been a lot of fun for me. I was so surprised because the thing is that the reviewers and all of the reviews that I have gone and watched for Black Myth before I purchased it, right? I wanted to watch a couple other people play it. I wanted to see what reviewers were saying about it. I try to make sure that I kind of combine that stuff with my own, you know, with things that I know that I'm interested in. And one of the things that I was really surprised about was the fact that like very few reviewers were talking about how much content is in the game. There's so much. There's so much in every single chapter. Mind you, like chapter 1, I think is like relatively short. Chapter 3 is a behemoth. Good God, it's so long. I mean, it's really good. The content there is awesome. The bosses and stuff that you fight are absolutely fantastic. But like the game is just laden with secrets. It reminds me of Elden Ring in a lot of ways, where you don't really recognize that when you're having conversations with certain NPCs that they're giving you hints towards side quests. And that stuff is everywhere. It's everywhere. The developers say it's 10 to 20 hours, feels like 50 hours. They obviously had the same guys that test Final Fantasy XIV mechanics. For real. For real. What are they talking about? 10 to 20 hours? You out of your mind? Maybe 10 to 20 hours to sit down. I'm 40 hours into the game and I just got to chapter 4. Like, initially I was like, I'm gonna beat the game and then I'll make a video on it. I can't. There's too much. And I'm one of those people where like, I hate missing things. It's not that I'm necessarily a completionist. I mean, I guess I kind of am, but I'm not like achievement hunting or anything like that. It's just like, I like to try to make sure that I try to do as much as I can in one single run. And I mean, like, they cooked. Holy, they cooked. You want the full experience. Yeah, exactly. That's really what it kind of comes down to. I want the full experience. I had no idea the Chinese devs were up to this level of 3D animation choreography. It's better than Kung Fu Hustle in some parts. Dude, one, Kung Fu Hustle is one of the greatest movies of all time. But two, like, a lot of people are like making comparisons because they're talking about Alan Wake and how cinematic Alan Wake is, and I haven't played Alan Wake 2 yet. I played Alan Wake 1. I loved Alan Wake 1. I just haven't gotten around to playing Alan Wake 2 yet. But with that said, like, this is bar none the best looking game of 2024. You're not even competing with it. It's not even close. It's not even close. The facial animations are absolutely fantastic. The way that the characters are designed are absolutely great. The movesets and attack patterns and the environments. Good God, the environments in this game. They speak. They breathe. How's the performance? Heard it was dodgy? No, I haven't had any problems. The only time I ever had any issues with playing the game, and this is really weird. I wonder if it's because I'm using a Ryzen instead of an Intel. That might be that might be why. But I haven't had any problems. I haven't. There was 1 or 2 times that I had some screen dips and like, you know, where my frame rate took a dive. But anytime I had those issues with the frame rate, what ended up happening, what it was, is the fact that I was probably also watching a YouTube video on the side, or I had other applications that were opened, or I had Streamlabs up and I was recording footage. Everyone who's had issues is caused by Intel microcoding. Yeah, so like that might be what it is. That's why I have a Ryzen, so I think I dodged a lot of the problems that a lot of people have been having with the game. Greetings, drops, the legendary king, legendary kind. Thank you, appreciate it. Hey man, you're kind of popping off. Good job with the videos. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering, like, I was actually thinking about it the other day because, so around this time last year, I had said because like around this time last year, I had a big blow up in like viewership, subscribers, everything like that, because I was making videos on Baldur's Gate 3 when it first came out. And I think it was right around that time that I was like, I'm going to hit 50K by the end of the year. I don't think I actually hit that. Or I think I said like 50K in like 6 months or something. I forgot what I was going to say. Whatever I said. I do know at the start of the year, I said, no matter what, that I was going to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of summer. That was, I said that in January. In January, I was like, I'm going to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. You know, yeah, I make it happen. I make it happen. So now I'm wondering if I can, now I'm Now I got to set another goal, man. Now I got to set another goal. I think saying 200K is probably a little bit unrealistic for me to say that I can hit by the end of the year. Probably 150,000 maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I had a few bits of frame rate issues with a lot of character screen effects. Yeah, you know what the funny thing is that any of the times that I did have any of those issues, it always came in areas that I wasn't expecting. It always came from places I wasn't expecting. Like, you'd think it'd be on some of those bosses that had like the, you know, crazy sand effects and water effects and stuff like that. No dice. No dice. Snowball at 300K, go big or go home. Yeah, there have to be some pretty crazy stuff to get people to kind of file in like that. I think that I think that I'm so torn on this. So one of the things that's it's genuinely felt odd lately is that I took a step back because I wanted to make higher quality videos. One, I wanted to take more time writing. So then I felt better about the videos that I was producing. And to do that, what I did was I made more time for myself, especially time for rest, time for like not making videos, time for just chilling, just playing video games, just hanging out, not doing anything else, right? No streaming, no nothing or anything about that. And I feel really weird about it because streaming 2 days a week doesn't necessarily feel like, it doesn't feel right. Like, I feel like like, personally, I feel like I want to stream more, but it's just like, I don't know what to stream if that's the case. That's just that's kind of the problem. It's just like, I don't know what to stream if that's the case. Unless I just do a day of just not gaming and just talking, and that's about it, right? Just sitting here interacting with you guys and chilling. What's up, Destin? Leg talks? Yes. We call it leg day. You see the article about dancing on Concord? Yeah, I'm gonna end up talking about that. I'm probably not gonna talk about it on stream, but I have two videos. I have two videos set up for next week. Yeah, you're talking about the PC Gamer article. Yeah, I got that one, and then there's actually another one as well that I'm gonna end up looking into that I kind of want to have a discussion on. Keep in mind, the thing is that though there are certain things, didn't know you're a Warframe guy. Well, Destin, you don't watch enough of my videos then. Thoughts on Descendant Season 1 or Visions of Mana? I'll be honest with you, I played the demo that they had put out for Visions of Mana, and I wasn't really impressed by it. Maybe it's just not a game for me. I don't know. But there's something about that. Has anybody else been playing Core Keeper 1.0? They hit 1.0? Shut up. I thought that they were still a ways off. Core Keeper 1.0 is out now. Oh. Oh, that's not good. That's not good for my sleep schedule. That's not good for my work schedule. That's just not good. That's just not good. That's just, oh, that's just not good. Does PoE come out next year? Yeah, PoE 2 is gonna come out next year. It's not gonna. It's gonna be. We're gonna be a ways away from that. What? What is this? How did that happen? That's really weird. Stop it. There it goes. That was weird. I went to download the update for Core Keeper, and then I accidentally started up Armored Core. That makes sense. November PoE 2. I'm excited. November for PoE 2. I thought PoE 2 was. Is that going to be like an open beta that they're going to do? I thought they had pushed the full reveal until next year. Good afternoon. Just binge watched all of your video series on Warframe and your PoE video. Played a fair bit of both. Glad you enjoyed them. Really enjoyed the way that you interpret your experiences and relay them to an audience. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I try to be different. Yeah, news, react, chatting, Core Keeper later. Yeah, believe me. Early access is November 15th. Yeah, it's actually really interesting. So I tried to reach out to some folks over at Grinding Gear Games, and they are very adamant about making sure that they're not giving content creators like privilege, like privileged access. Like they're like you, if you want to get in and you want to get content out of, you know, playing the beta and making videos on it and all that stuff, like you have to go through the exact same way, the exact same hurdles that normal people have to do. You got to wait in line just like everybody else. Put yourself in for a key and go that way. Which I don't have any problem with that personally. I think that's the better way to go about doing it, though it does kind of suck for me. Yeah, they put it on a trailer that said everybody gets access November 15th. Oh, maybe I just missed it or something like that. Pretty sure you don't need the advertising. Looks like you're advertising already. Yeah. I wish that I was I wish that I was as organized as some other folks are when it comes to some of these games and release dates and things like that. I really do need to keep like a calendar or something. Part of it makes me want to actually get one of the, like, instead of having like a desk mat like I have, getting like those, you know, those like calendars that you would always see on like your boss's desk. Or getting one of those instead. Like, I feel like something like that would work out better for me. I miss meetings and things like that all the time. I'm so bad with it. I have a sheet, but PoE 2 is one of my main beats. Yeah, yeah, I don't have any. I don't think I guess Warframe in a way has kind of become a main beat for me. Like, you know, anything that like happens with the game, I'll end up discussing it. Kind of. So they got rid of the fishing mini game. Oh, in Core Keepers, really? Honestly, we'll say they've added quite a lot. Oh, they made a lot of changes to Core Keeper. Yeah, I always really liked the general. I always really liked like the general concept of Core Keepers, right? Top-down Terraria. Or Terraria. I think the reason why I keep calling it Terraria is because the vast majority of the content that I watched on the game was specifically from like Chippy's couch. And he's, you know, he's a Brit. So when I think he's British at least. It says Terraria. Terraria. My grandmother had one on her desk for ages. Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking I need one of those or something like that. Maybe it's a good time to ask then, how do I get the free Caliban? Just logging in or as a Twitch drop? I think it's just logging in, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that from what I understand, anytime Warframe does like some type of rebalancing like that, where they, you know, make a character like super playable or something, they usually give out the free one. Because there's a few times that I've gotten free ones. I got an Ember. I know that. I got something else another time. Wait, you play Warframe? No. No. I just pretend to. I just pretend to. Hey man, how's it going? Pretty good. Pretty good. Excited for Kome? Yeah, I'm interested to see what it's going to end up being. I didn't actually get to see the reveal of it or anything like that. I just saw an article that was talking about it a little bit. You're blowing my mind with that pronunciation. I always thought it was pronounced the British way. I don't think it is because the folks that made it, if I'm not mistaken, they're based out of like Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're like the only game studio in Indiana. It's probably a spider frame. Ooh, that'd actually be kind of cool. I like that idea. It actually sounds really interesting. Coming off of playing Destiny 2 for a long time, I started playing OSRS for the first time a few months ago. Would recommend it if you get the chance. Really? Dude, I'm gonna be real. I get that it's popular, but I just don't get it. Like, I see it visually, and I'm like, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. I don't know what to tell you. Nothing against it if you like the game, right? But I don't know. What's up, Half Dead? Oh, I saw that you resubbed too, by the way. 11 months. Thank you. Appreciate that. Fucking goated. $11 months. That means that you've been around since, like, basically since the come up. Since the channel started to, like, begin its rise. Begin its rise. Wait, what? What does that mean? Your Wukong video uploaded on Bilibili got 36k views. On Bilibili. So somebody downloaded my video and then re-uploaded my video on Chinese YouTube? I mean, all right. Oh, and translated. Holy shit. Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't really care. I mean, it's cool. I think it's cool. Especially because it's one of those things where it's like, you've gone international. Congrats. Yeah. This is my blow up, my blow up and glow up in the Eastern market. Mr. Worldwide. What can I say? What can I say? Dale. That's right. That's right. I will say, like, it is weird. It's weird. I'm like, please use keyframe frequency on 4 seconds or less.
I'm glad there is not afraid to rework enough of buff characters and actually do it good.
I gotta figure out how to switch that. People are one day are gonna get the wrong idea. I gotta figure out how to fucking fix that. I'm glad DE is not afraid to rework or nerf buff characters and actually do it good. Yeah, I think they do a really good job. Don't you dare? Question mark. Yeah, so if you guys haven't watched the stream before, like I use Streamlabs OBS, and it says that it has 2 settings for me to be able to use text-to-speech. So if you use, I think, over $5 in bits on Twitch, it'll use the text-to-speech. If you super chat on YouTube, it'll use the text-to-speech. And for some odd reason, it's set to have this like really like soft tone voice on Twitch. But I don't know why, but it keeps changing the YouTube one to a different voice, and it's in Japanese. It's just this like Japanese lady. It's super funny. You should expand on Billy. Man, do you have any idea how hard that is to be able to like translate your videos as well as, you know, like, yeah, and like do it accurately and stuff? Don't get me wrong, it's so smart to do. Like, there's so many channels now that I know of that actually have, like, usually they'll have like 3. They'll have one in Spanish and one in Chinese. Do you need more accents? Not less? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Warframe China is called Star Armor. It has a completely different name. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's an interesting name, actually. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Half Dead, thank you for the 5 gifted, man. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. How do you don't how to turn LD? How do you don't how to turn off ETS? Aw, I don't know what you're saying, bud. I don't know what you mean by that. You can play all your fancy games. I'm swamped with indies of the last. Oh, I know. Actually, I literally just the other day ended up getting a notification about a couple games that went on sale. What was it? Pacific Drive was one of them, and the other one is Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium for $10 and Pacific Drive for 17. Disco Elysium is one of those games that I look at and I think, played any Balatro? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. You tell me. Does it look like I've played any Balatro? LD playing Balatro while he's talking to us. Yeah. Yeah. I've also been playing Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. I just got this one recently too. This one's really good. A lot of fun. It's basically like the same concept as Balatro, except for it's blackjack and you're like dealing damage to the other person. And it also has like really cool cards in it, like it also has like really cool cards like man, what is it? Like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards and stuff. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's the Yogcast published one, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. What is this? This is the Billy. It's a wake-up call. This game, that's crazy, dude. What? What? Translate. Translate it, motherfucker. I asked you to translate. Translate. Copy the prompt into Aria. I have to like copy it. I want to see what they titled it. Man, shut the fuck up. Oh my god. I'm all freaking out now. game for many others, including myself, represents what many of us have been
That's
asking for a
crazy.
long time,
It's
which is
wild
just
that this
a
is
game
like
that's
such
a
like
game.
high quality.
Nothing else. No modern gaming trend chasing, no microtransactions, no live service model. It's not a platform for future expansions. It's just a game that's delivered at a fair price. It gives us an incredible
What is this
experience.
ad down
That's
here? I don't want to
exactly what
click
this game
anywhere.
is. A damn good one at that. Through fabricated controversies and
This is like 322 comments or something
criticism
like that.
steeped in biases, this game has persevered. It has sent shockwaves across the industry. It has exploded in popularity, and it's going to leave a lasting impact.
It's crazy how like
Today, what
high
I wanna do
quality
is
the
I want to talk about my experience with Black Myth.
like the
Wukong.
translation is. I mean, this video only came out like what, a few hours ago. LD, how do you know about Thank Goodness You're Here game? I don't know what that is, man. No dark mode, my eyes. I'm sure they actually probably have a dark mode, but yeah, that's crazy. Oh, you have to like, damn, there's so much like, there's so much weebery on Billy Billy. That's crazy. Like I want to. What do they title it? Is this? I would imagine it's in Chinese, right? Cooked meat. Foreign blogger Black Myth Wukong is a wake-up call for us. They tried to stop the game succeeding, but they couldn't. Cooked meat. What does that mean? Is that the name of the person that, like, reposted it? A foreign blogger. You are cooked meat now? I wonder if that's like, oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? It's a, it's like a colloquial, it's probably like a colloquialism. It's like they're cooked. They're cooked. That's probably what it means. Oh, you see how I try to translate things, notice how I try to translate things, you know, the right way? Meanwhile, IGN. The game is good, but God, the technical issues. I haven't had any. I'm just going to be real with you, man. I haven't had any technical issues at all. None. Not a single one. I've played the game, and the only time I ever had any issues was the only time I ever had any issues when I was trying to record it, or like when I was trying to like record while I was playing, or I also had a video up at the same time. Like normal things that yeah, normal things that, you know, you'd run into if you're trying to do too much at one time. I think that's usually what it kind of comes down to. Are you on PC? On PS5, the texture... Oh, see, no. I play on PC. Yeah, I play on PC. You know, just to be that guy, like I paid good money years ago to build my own PC because I don't want to run into those kind of problems. I want to be able to tech solve my way out of those problems if I need to. That's crazy. That's just crazy. I think it's really cool. Like I know that there's some people that have thoughts on like folks that like repurpose content and stuff like that. But if you're not going to, if you don't, like, I'll be real with you. I don't think that this isn't in competition with my video. It's on a platform that I don't even really know anything about to begin with, and it's like fully translated in like it's high quality translations to make sure that the message is getting across. And also at the exact same time, I think they obviously credit me as well It doesn't matter because I'm credited at the end of the video anyway, because I talk about my my YouTube channel and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have an issue with this kind of stuff. I think things like this help get the message across. Now, like if somebody on YouTube like straight up fully re-uploads my shit, that's a different problem. That's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. Especially because like, and I've come across it as well, where like people on YouTube have like just straight up try to re-upload my videos and then I just strike them. Bam! What are you doing? What are you doing? Because there's a lot of people that make like reaction videos to my content and stuff like that too, and obviously I don't care about any of that kind of stuff, man. I don't have any problem with that. Kind of. There's some of them that I'm like, because I'll watch people's reactions to my video, like even like smaller, like more obscure people that, you know, maybe get like 300 or 400 views just because it's interesting to see what somebody's response is to it. There's also some ones that are out there, I'm gonna be real, like people that are just trying to like copy the React meta that are fucking horrible at it. And not only are they horrible at it, but they're also rude. Like super rude. Like imagine watching somebody's video and the entire time like they're just talking over me or ignoring everything that I'm saying. There was one dude that I saw that literally what did he do? I'm trying to think how it was. I had him take it down because it was like it just pissed me off because it was literally like he just had me as like background noise. Like my video was like super tiny and up in the left hand corner while he was playing World of Warcraft. And like not even interacting with the video, not even talking about it, not even reacting to it or anything like that. And at the end of his Warcraft session, he's like, "Yeah, it was a good video." It's like, get the fuck out of here. It's so insulting. Like, and the funny thing is that folks like that are the same people, by the way. These are the same people that go out and they buy, you know, thousands of dollars in equipment and then sit there and wonder why they have one viewer. Why is there only one person watching me? Probably because you don't give a shit. Probably because you don't give a shit. Because for some odd reason, I don't know where people get this from, but for some odd reason, people will watch folks that make YouTube videos and stream and be like, "Oh man, like they don't even, this is so easy. Anybody can do it." It's like, all right, cuh. Let's see you do it, man. Let's see you do it. It's hard. It's hard. I'm surprised I don't have gray hair yet. It's like when you have to like think about like what you're gonna do next. You're always like it's also one of those things too where like you find yourself in this weird position in which you like you don't know what you're gonna end up doing next. You just don't know what you're gonna end up doing next. You're always paying attention to view counts and stuff, and the way that like YouTube shows like your viewership and whatnot. It's always trying to make you feel like you're going downhill. So they're like trying to, you know, YouTube's always trying to stress you out to like get you to like, you got to do more, you got to work harder, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it's just like, you know, man. Ellie, long time no see. Been leading a savage static in Final Fantasy. Haven't kept up with my other games. Gamers known for their social skills. Yeah. It do be hard. Yeah, well, it's one of the reasons why, like, I don't think people really recognize that, like, you know, if you have, like, right now, which is, I mean, it's crazy to think, but it's like, you know, with over 100,000 subscribers, I'm in, like, the 0.01% of YouTube channels. Like, the vast majority of people that upload don't ever get even 1,000 subscribers. Same thing goes for Twitch. Like 99.9% of Twitch is all people that are streaming at one viewer. It's hard to be able to get up past that, and it's not it's not coincidence. Like, you have to be likable. People have to enjoy watching you for some reason, and I think that's like one of the things that like people don't understand. They'll go and they'll watch somebody like Asmongold as an example,
and be like, I can say crazy stuff on stream and play World of Warcraft. But then like they only see the World of Warcraft part, and then they don't understand the rest of it. They just don't understand like where the rest of it all comes in. It's a lot. It's a lot. Granted, I don't personally make videos, but I upload VODs and try to clip my fails from Twitch to upload shorts and TikToks. Yeah, I think that so I'll give you guys a little bit of a transparent view, okay? Give you guys a little bit of transparency. So how it happened for me is that when I first started, I started actually streaming on Twitch, playing Call of Duty, Warzone, and uploading, you know, highlight reels to YouTube. Nothing, right? The only people that watched it were in my like Call of Duty community that I was a part of, and that was pretty much about it. And I'm like sitting there, and like everybody else, they're all trying to do the same thing. Everybody's trying to share ideas and figure out ways to grow. And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, dang, I'm like, there's just something missing here, and I just don't understand. And then, you know, I noticed how popular commentary stuff was. So then I started, you know, watching more commentary videos and things like that. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'll start a podcast. So then me and my buddy started a podcast, and we're going back and forth, and we're, you know, making these really low effort podcasts for a while, but even that really didn't go anywhere. We'd get a couple people here and there, but for the most part, it pretty much stayed where it was. Then, I actually want to say I was probably watching Asmongold at the time, if I'm not mistaken. And he was I cannot remember exactly when this was, but it was actually in response to like some like Twitch is dying video or something like that. And in it, he was talking about how, you know, how often people fail and why they fail. And it's because, you know, when you watch somebody, whether that's in a video or whether that's on a stream, like they're getting to know you, right? There's some type of relationship that you're building there. And the only way that you're going to be able to do something like that, at least what I understood from him, is to be able to make content that facilitates people being able to know and understand you and seeing whether or not they feel like they have something in common with you or they find entertainment from you. And I was sitting there and I'm like, well, you know, podcasts are fucking played out. Everybody thinks that they can make one. Everybody wants to have one ever since Joe Rogan to begin with. Gameplay videos don't really do that either, right? Like you're not building a relationship or understanding somebody or finding out if you find them or if you like them or find them entertaining either. So then it was like, why don't I just like review games or just talk about things that I'm interested in? So then I turned on a camera and I started making videos. Here I am. I think in a lot of cases when it comes to streamers and just YouTube in general, people are looking for a lot more. They're looking for something a little bit deeper. They're looking for something a little bit more personal. That's really what it is. They're looking for something a little bit more personal. Because the way that they view it, and it's completely fair to view it like this, you're investing time into watching somebody, right? You know, and you recognize and realize that by investing your time, they are profiting in some way, right? They are gaining in some way. And you're going to make the choice on whether or not this is a person that you feel is worth giving some benefit to. Twitch issue? You think that's what it is? Yeah, I'm seeing it's like lagging behind. Let me see if I can fix it real quick. Okay. Should be good now. I think we should be okay now.
What? We good? I refreshed. Should be good. We good? Is everybody good? Are we okay? Is everybody okay? I think that, well, I forget that like YouTube's like a little bit behind. All is okay. Seems good so far. Hey, I see your face. We're back. All right. Thanks for asking. See you here. See and hear you clear. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Everything should be okay now. Yeah, I forgot about it. I was wondering if there was anything else that I had missed. I was wondering if there was anything that I had missed, because I was a little worried about it. But so basically, for some odd reason, like Streamlabs will do this every once in a while, where it will update, and when it updates, it will just it'll just yeet all of my settings. Did you need these? Did you need those settings? No. That's too bad. Hope you remembered them. So it did an update, and then it just like acted like I wasn't. It actually didn't even do an update. I don't even think. It just randomly logged me out of Streamlabs, and I have no idea why. It was like a while ago, and then when it did it, I had to basically like go back through, fix all of my screens, update all of my stuff, and it just on a similar note to PC Gamer, did you see anything about this whole Second Wind and their whole drama? No, what's that about? Suggest the OBS. As much as I would like to use OBS because it is a much simpler platform, at the exact same time, multi-streaming is not as easy on there. The biggest benefit that I have to using Streamlabs is that Streamlabs offers a service in which I can actually stream one stream to one place, and then it splits the stream and sends it to YouTube and Twitch, rather than me having to do anything else. Yeah, you got to use Restream for multi-stream. Yeah, exactly. And that ends up just being kind of a problem in general. It just ends up being a problem in general. Love seeing your videos, real news about games, respect from Portugal. Thank you. Thank you. When are you gonna do a Warframe tier list when I actually play as all of them? It's gonna be a way. It's gonna be a ways away. I have a lot to catch up on, especially when I'm already like glued to specific frames to begin with anyway. Yeah. So like Streamlabs for multi-streaming is Streamlabs for multi-streaming, and then all of their like all-in-one stuff is really nice. Tier list of the shitpost of Warframe. I don't really have any interest in doing tier lists to begin with. Yeah. Apparently when they split from The Escapist, it was primarily due to the head of the video department being toxic and gaslighting his team into quitting out of solidarity. It's more complicated than that, though. Are you trying to say that the reason why... Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So you're saying that like they left The Escapist on false pretenses?
And the team went with the team went with the lead guy because like they felt like they had to. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks for my currently crippling Warframe addiction. No problem. Will you play Space Marine 2? Yes, I will play Space Marine 2 when it launches. That is the plan. That is the plan. He was going to lose his job. I was a butthead and gaslit the team into leaving with him. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. There's like a lot of like personal dynamics that go on in those like kind of in those work relationships that I don't really know exactly if you could boil it down to something as simple as that, because it's not like the rest of the team wouldn't leave if they all didn't feel like they had their reasons for doing it in the first place. Second, win boss was fighting with people on social media and making everyone involved look bad. So here's the thing. This is I have a crazy concept to share with you guys. This is a really crazy concept. Don't do that. If you are the head of a business, stop arguing with people on social media. In fact, get off of Twitter, Threads, Facebook, all of those kind of things. Because no matter what you do, you are representing your company. And if you act like a moron, well, people probably aren't going to take it that well. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I was watching an Asmongold stream the other day, and he was talking about how he stopped like tweeting. Which I like, and by the way, if you guys didn't notice, I'm the same way. Like my shit's so basic. Like other than this, so I saw this, and I was hoping that the internet would like find this tweet but it doesn't really work like that. But because I saw this and somebody had posted, and they said, I remember when sites like PC Gamer would post almost every day mocking Starfield last year. Now we have them defending Concord and telling gamers to stop celebrating the downfall of games. This is exactly what I mean when I say most game sites are trash nowadays. So what's really funny about this is that, and I posted hoping somebody could find the archived version because I don't know how to do that to begin with. But I'm pretty sure it was PC Gamer that put out an article that was talking about how Steam broke its all-time concurrent player record. And when they broke their all-time concurrent player record, it's with big thanks. I think the headline was Steam broke its all-time concurrent player record with big thanks to Black Myth Wukong and nothing from Concord. And then I went and looked, and that headline's been changed to Black Myth Wukong helps Steam break its all-time concurrent player record. And then the next day, I see that they're posting articles about how we shouldn't be dancing on the grave of Concord. So from my perspective, what's going on is that likely somebody posted an article and thought it was funny to flame Concord, but one of the other writers was writing a piece about how we shouldn't be dancing on the graves of games. And then they were like, hey, that doesn't line up with the narrative that this publication is supposed to be pushing right now. You need to go change that headline. I'm almost positive that was a PC Gamer article. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Games journalists aren't gamers. You know, the thing is that like I'll be one of the first people to tell you this, that there are a lot of really good ones, but the problem is that the more times than not they're overshadowed by the bad ones. And also at the same time, I think that like no matter who you are, especially when you're making videos and you're making articles and things like that about games and your opinion, you're gonna have these moments in which you know, your own personal biases are gonna leak out a little bit. And I think that especially when you're in the space that they are, it's just really not acceptable, and it's just gonna mess up the whole. Jason Schreier is a good one. Yeah, here's the funny thing. There's been plenty of times that Jason Schreier has said things that I don't agree with either. It's really funny because, like, you'll have some people that'll say, oh, Jason Schreier is a good one. Yet if I have the memory of a, my memory's like a fucking vault. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't only just a few months ago that people were going after Jason Schreier because he wrote a piece about the downfall or the failure that was Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, and in his article, he wrote nothing about Sweet Baby Incorporated. And people were like, this is why we hate games journalists. See what I mean? The market seems really saturated for hero shooters right now. Kind of hard when your game doesn't stand out a whole lot. Yeah, and you also charge $40 for it. Yeah. Yeah, when you make a game that already exists on the market to begin with, you don't really make any meaningful changes to that game. The characters for the game are wholly uninspired and are characters that nobody has really any interest in actually getting to know to begin with. And the platform in which you are trying to sell that game, that's what sets you apart. Nah, I'm good. So is the rest of the gaming audience. Not interested. Sorry. Maybe you guys should have asked first. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't, like, market research be like, it's 4:30 a.m. in China. I'm going to sleep now. Have a good day. You too. Have a good sleep. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy to do market research? Wouldn't that be wild? Isn't that a crazy idea to figure out what players are actually looking to play and what players actually want to play right now? But we're Sony. Yeah. 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 I like, now I'm getting an error on YouTube again. Hopefully I'm not getting any problems on your guys' side and it's not lagging or anything like that. Hopefully. Open widget. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain stream. As such, viewers will be experiencing buffering. Hopefully that doesn't ever become a problem. And there's Streamlabs again. Dude, what the fuck is going on? It lagged a bit, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm just hoping that it doesn't get worse. I might end up having to actually, like, look up the original settings that I had. YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, multi-stream settings. Yeah, that's all good. This is what it's set as. Bit rate. Of course, it's not on this fucking guide. I love it when they don't put, like, you know, hey, by the way, there's like bit rate, and I think there's also like a keyframe, counter that you're also supposed to put a certain number on. Let's see here. Oh, it's supposed to be a minimum of 6,000. I don't know if can I change that while I'm running? No, I can't. Okay. So if it does have any issues, I'll change that and make sure it's set to what it needs to be. I know my output settings and stuff like that are where they need to be though. Video, a scaled output to 1920 by 1080. Process priority, key, file code naming. Yeah, everything else looks like it's pretty much where it needs to be. The only thing that like I kind of overset one setting to 6800, but it's supposed to be yeah, here are the maximum bit rates for some of the most commonly used platforms, which is Twitch and YouTube. YouTube doesn't have a maximum apparently, so it defaults to Twitch or defaults to YouTube, but I think you're supposed to set it at 6K is I think what you're supposed to set it to. I don't know. I hope it doesn't cause any more problems, because if it does, I'll have to contact their fucking customer support. I really don't want to have to do that right now. Especially because for some odd reason, and I don't know why this is, but like anytime I talk to Streamlabs, that's the bit rate, not the definition. Yeah, YouTube can go much higher. But you have to go with the lowest one. So in this case, it's Twitch. It's soft capped at 6 and can go to 8. Yeah. Yeah. Which is usually why I think I kept it at like 6,800 for a while, but it was much lower than that. The bit rate when I looked at it was like 4K or something like that was what it was initially set to by default. So I upped it, hoping that it would fix the issue between the two of them. I mean, YouTube says it has an excellent connection, so fuck them. I don't know what to say. Anyway, all right, let's look at some shit here. Oh, this is the other one that I'm not gonna be talking about this necessarily. I'm gonna be making a video about this actually. Fucking targeted advertisements. Also, that's a fucking cap. There ain't no way you're selling fucking Neon Dynasty for 129. Where? So yeah, I'm gonna end up, Jesus, can you guys put any more ads on here? So this is like one ad at the top, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another one was supposed to be here, but it's not, which would be 9. These ones didn't load either, which is supposed to be 10, 11, 12. Jesus, and you guys wonder why people don't want to look at your fucking websites? Unreal, dude. Unreal. But yeah, I'm gonna end up making a video on this. Caught him, MTG player. Yeah, I know, right? Ad block time. Yeah, well, the problem is that a lot of these sites now have systems in place where you can't block the ads, because if you block the ads, you can't see the page. I read the title of this article, and you know what? I think it's enough for me today. Good. Yeah, I'm not going over this right now or anything like that. But it is the basis of a video that I do plan on making. It's not about ideology. It's about quality. That's exactly what it is, Norsky. You're absolutely right. It's exactly what it is. It has absolutely nothing to do with with any of this shit. I mean, it does. There's an effect that there's definitely an effect that's there, but overall, it's just not what. The problem is that like the issue is completely misrepresented by every side of the every side of the discussion, and it's so upsetting. It's so upsetting. It's so upsetting how like intellectually dishonest like the vast majority of people can be about a topic like this. It blows my mind. There was some dude in my comment section the other day that was like, you know, it gave me the go woke, go broke line about saying that I'm wrong, that it was go woke, go broke for Concord. And the thing is that like it's not the case. I'm not saying that it doesn't have a part to play, and it does, but it's just not playing the part that they think it does. And especially because like there's a lot of people that'll be like name a woke game that's popular. It's like, shit, you want me to get you a fucking list? Do you have time? You have time for that? Because there's plenty of games that include a lot of different things, a lot of themes that people don't want in certain games, and they have no problem with it because it's not a cudgel. They're not beating somebody over the head. They're not trying to teach them a lesson. They're not talking down to them. They're giving them options. There's tons of examples of games like this that do great. Yeah, Elden Ring. That's one of the examples that I always bring up. It's funny that you never heard anybody ever complain about the fact you can pick body type 1 and body type 2 or A and B in Elden Ring. They act like it doesn't even exist. Yet you've heard them talk like look at how they freaked out about it with World of Warcraft. Why is that? It's the difference between the games. Difference between people that actually like enjoy the game right now and have no problem with it, and the people that see it as, you know, just another unnecessary change while the rest of the game is suffering. Right? What's the phrase again? It will make a good game better, but it'll make a bad game worse. I don't even think it makes a bad game worse. I think it just gives another excuse for people to complain. And it's all about how those things are handled, right? It's all about how, like, again, like probably one of the more popular ones. Like nobody had a problem with how Dion was portrayed in Final Fantasy 16 because it was a good story. It was a good story. You didn't hear a whole lot of people complaining that there was two guys that kissed in their game. Right? You didn't hear it. Never heard it. Why? Because people enjoyed the game. It was a good game. It was a good game and a well-told story with great characters. That's really what it comes down to. Nothing to do with anything else. Which is really funny, by the way, because I brought that kind of conversation up, and then you want to know what the reaction? You want to know the reaction this dude had was? He's like, that's not what I'm talking about. He's like, those are games that have options. And I'm like, well, no, you just said, like, it's just moving the goalpost. Because people that are like that, people that believe like that, have like that narrow of a fucking perspective on life, like they have to move the goalpost to make sure that they can always be right. And that, you know, everything that they fundamentally stand for can't be wrong, right? You can't let that go. So they just continue to move the goalpost. And when you call them out for moving the goalpost, and then they're like, oh, well, see, this is the reason why I don't watch you directly and why I watch somebody else watch you, because I have options. And I'm like, so you're saying I'm woke? Dude's like, yeah. Your channel's very woke. And I'm like, what? I'm like, and you know what the funny thing is? I get just as many of those kind of comments from the other side. I have so many comments that I've seen pop up of people calling me like a right-wing grifter. And it's like, when you're pissing off both sides, boy, you know you're doing it right. You know you're doing it right. Yeah, that's right. You guys have been tricked. You guys have been tricked. having options actually makes things worse, because if you don't choose the diverse ones, you're blamed for picking the wrong ones. Yeah, people don't really, I don't really think that matters either. Did you have a person who said he had to uninstall and cancel The Witcher 3 because of a woke character? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? LD double agent? I know, right? Little do they know. Little do they know I'm working in the shadows. I'm working in the shadows. You have no idea the dark machinations of this mind. What plans I have. I truly work for some, like, anarchist organization. That's really what it is. They just don't know it yet. Blue Protocol got canceled. Last time I checked, you're nowhere near woke. Critical of gameplay, story, and features. Never see you say woke messages down. Yeah, no. 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 I just say things how they are. That's it, man. I just say things how they are. The world is this world has a lot of nuance, and people don't like nuance. A lot of people just want to see things in black and white. It makes it easier for them because they're fucking stupid. I mean, let's be real. It's really what it comes down to. People only want to see yes and no because yes and no is easy. And they don't want to work their brains any harder than they have to be able to get themselves out of bed or even brush their teeth. Oh, man. Blue Protocol will be discontinued January 18th, 2025 in Japan, and no longer will no longer be released worldwide. I'll be honest, I kind of saw that this was coming already because the game just could never ever like get any traction at all in Japan. It got a lot of hate when it first released. It had a lot of problems when it first released, and then also on top of that, the other thing is that it wasn't going to be welcome. It wasn't going to get a warm welcome in the West because they were trying to localize the fuck out of this thing. RIP Jiggles. Well, see, that's the thing. They removed that for the Western version. Right? So, like, bro, this is an anime waifu game, and they want to take out the waifu part of it. It didn't make any sense. It sucks. It really does, because I was looking forward to this. I mean, an anime-inspired MMO sounded like a blast. Action RPG MMO sound really fun. I was hoping that this game was going to do well. It just never could. Here's the thing. It sucks, but I know it's not the last one. And I know there'll be another, right? I mean, with the explosive popularity of games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail and a bunch of games like that, eventually you're going to get a true anime MMO. Why did you censor the full name? I don't know. Maybe it's some type of, like, is the game censored for some reason? Is it an H game? I actually don't even know what Blue Archive is. This is actually crazy. By the way, I'm not like taking a dunk on like Western developers or anything like that, but like they did like such a good job adapting these women to their roles. It's crazy. And also, like, this motherfucker's dangerous.
Okay. LD. You are now WLD Woken. Thanks. Thanks for the $2. I love Spider Girl. Which one is she? It's not one of these three, right? So, or is it this one? Which is the first one that you meet? I met the daughter. I don't think the daughter's on here. I think the daughter looks different, right? No women in Wukong, by the way? Yeah. Yeah, no. This isn't the kind of representation. This is not the kind of representation they were asking for. Norsky, they wanted real women. These are obviously AI. This is obviously AI. Smash Spider Girl. Good lord. I have to look into this. This is crazy. Inappropriate with at least 8 female employees. Bungie's cooked, man. Bungie is cooked. Like, I don't know. I have zero faith in Marathon at this point because I have no idea what they're going to be releasing with that. To see that they're, you know, the people that left their studio that went to go to create something cool and new and fresh was Concord. And now they're throwing away their one successful IP that they still have control over, right? At one point, what I'm wondering is going to end up happening is, and maybe this is what Xbox is waiting for all along.
You are now WLD Oken Legendary Drop.
What if Xbox, while this studio is unraveling, okay, picture this. While this studio is unraveling, because it's exactly what's happening, right? It's falling apart. People are leaving. They're getting laid off. You know what a W move on Xbox's part would be? We're starting a new studio with ex-Bungie devs. Just put them back to work on what they should be working on in the first place. That's what I would do. Personally, I'd be like, oh man, all these people from Bungie don't have a job anymore. How would you guys like to go back to working on Halo? I mean, giving Halo to Obsidian? Oh, that would be a W move. What would Halo do? Or what would Obsidian do? Look, just because Obsidian makes some good games doesn't mean that everything that they're going to touch is going to turn to gold. Why not just fund Bungie and resurrect it? Why would you fund Bungie? They're owned by Sony. Sony already owns them. Sony's just going to dissolve the people at Bungie into their other studios. And they'll still keep the Bungie name in hopes that it's going to be able to push copies of whatever their next game is. A lot of the talent from the Halo days is totally gone. Well, the vast majority of those people have up and left already to begin with. They're not even there in the first place. I want a Halo RPG, okay? Yeah. Yeah. They tried to make a Halo RTS. You saw how that one did. This is insane. Like, Wildspire Waste was like huge in Monster Hunter World, but like this map that they have for Wilds is crazy. This is crazy. This is so big. I hope that mount speeds are actually like enough.
game is so big. I just hope that it's not too big. I don't know. As an indie dev, I don't want to be working on the same game, same thing constantly. I'd want to spend 20 years. I wouldn't want to spend 20 years in the same IP. Tell that to fucking Activision. And then they wonder why their games are creatively robbed. Monster Hunter Worlds maps were really small. Yeah, but I think that Monster Hunter World maps had really, really, really good verticality, right? Like that was one of the things that I really liked about World. Like, certain areas had like such great verticality where like there was multiple layers to the map and things like that that you could find a lot of stuff. But yeah. Counterpoint, Redigi can't move on from Terraria for 10 plus years. Yeah. They haven't even done anything. I mean, it's not they haven't done anything. They just like keep coming through and like making these like updates to Terraria. I would almost like at this point with as much time as they've put into it, like why don't you just go ahead and just expand it? You know what I mean? Just come out with a Terraria expansion. You don't even need to try to make another game. Just make a Terraria expansion. Well, I already saw they're hiring some people that worked on the Calamity mod. I saw them like at Calamity mod on Twitter and said, "Hey, are any of you guys looking for a job right now?" Super smart. Super smart. Because Calamity is goated. It's insanely good. Oh shit, seriously? Yeah. Like, to be real, I'll just say this. I think that the true Calamity, or sorry, the true Terraria experience is playing Calamity mod. Like, if I was like, hey, you're gonna play it for the first time, I'd play Calamity. Because you're still gonna get all of your base bosses. You still have your normal progression. You just get more of everything. And an even longer first time playing. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's how Battlefield 2 started. They hired the guys that modded BF1 and turned into a modern version. That's actually really smart. Yeah. Have you looked at the Seekers of the Storm DLC for Risk of Rain 2? No. What? Yo, what? Is that 3 new characters? Is that what this is saying? What? Yo, okay. This is way more extensive than the last DLC. Automatic chef main? For real. Is this out now? It's out now? It's out now? Shut up. Store. Risk. No.
Stop it. Stop it. Risk of rain 2. Jesus, you want to talk about the best money you could spend right now? 67% off for Risk of Rain 2. You can buy this motherfucker for $8.24. Holy. Holy. By the way, I only got a couple hours in this game. I only got a couple hours. Okay? Just a couple. I've only played it a little bit. It is rookie numbers, to be honest with you. Mostly because I didn't really have a lot of friends to play it with. Mark and I would play it every here and there. But like, yeah, for the most part, 90% of the time that I played it was solo. So those are mostly solo hours that you're seeing. The mods for Risk of Rain 2 are also awesome as hell. Yeah, of course. Kingdom Come Deliverance is $2, $3 on sale. I already bought Kingdom Come. Yeah, the Risk of Rain remake was really good too, yeah. Let me just take this over here. $14. $14.99. That's how much the update is, or the new content. Seekers of the Storm is $14.99. And it is now installing. Fastest purchase I've made. You can even get dedicated servers for Risk of Rain 2. Why would you need a dedicated server? Worth it? Yeah. Oh, it was given out by Epic too? I didn't know that. Never played Risk of Rain 2? Do you have to play Risk of Rain 1? No. No. The games aren't like that. It's not a story game. It's just a pure like level-based roguelite. It's literally the coolest like third-person shooter roguelite that's out there. Like it's beyond fantastic. There's such a cool variety in characters and how each character works and the dynamics of like making a party, like you and your buddy picking something and you have to like share drops and stuff like that, and different ways that you can power your character up and different ways to focus your character and make them stronger and stuff like that. Risk of Rain 2 is just a banger game. I don't know. It's just one of those games that yeah. There's too many good things for me to say about it for me to even start. It has the bar none. Which one is the one I'm thinking of? The soundtrack for this game is just so fucking good. It's so good. You get lost. You get lost in this game. The music kicks in. Rain known as Purple. Thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. I love this one though. This one right here, this is usually when I'm like sitting here and I'm playing the game and I'm just like, Gone. I'm gone. I'm not even there. I'm not even home anymore. I'm in my brain is sucked out. What happened to Risk of Rain 2 and why is the game bombed for Gearbox? What do you mean bombed? It's getting review bombed? Let me look. Let me take a look. It's mixed. Why is it mixed? Gearbox is deeply incompetent. The secret boss in the new DLC will soft lock the entire run if a non-DLC owner is the only one to survive. Hilarious. Except not really. Add the mechanics. Add that the physics system being even weirder than before, making the other new character revive skill unreliable. A host of new bugs, and a great deal of this feels really rushed for some reason. For something that's been cooking for years. And I have to ask if the Gearbox C-suite is even pretending anymore. Fix your game, Gearbox. I don't know. I guess I'll have to play for myself and see. I'll have to play for myself and see. Yeah, I'm not really too sure. I'll have to see what's going on with it. I should block the update until they fix them. Yeah, I mean, if there's some probably... I mean, the game, it just dropped yesterday, right? I feel like I'm drifting into space with this music. Yeah, it's so good. The soundtrack for the game is fucking phenomenal. It's so awesome. Yeah, that's actually, like, the game's even buggier than it was before. Like, I don't even know what they're even talking about. Unless they're just talking about getting wrecked, because that'll happen. You do a Risk of Rain 2 stream and let the community join. Would be down to watch that. I mean, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll play Risk of Rain tomorrow. I don't even play Risk of Rain 2 anymore, and I still listen to the soundtrack today. Yeah, the soundtrack is just, it's so good. What is this? Oh, so I saw Rurikon posted this, and he says, I have owned 4 Razer mice in my life, which at one point was considered their main business. All of them were Razer Lechises. I don't know how you say that. I like the shape and the button placement. All of them broke within a year. For reference, my current mouse is on its 7th year. I don't trust Razer. So here's the thing. Like, part of me wants to talk shit, and then part of me doesn't. The only problem that I have ever had with Razer, like my actual, so like I have a Razer Huntsman 2, the like 60% keyboard or whatever, like very tiny guy, little tiny dude. I don't like having a big keyboard. I like having a lot of room. Mostly because I like having a lot of room for mouse space. I also actually use Razer's mouse. I use both of Razer's mice, actually. I have a Death Adder and I have a Naga for playing for MMOs. I have no problem with the actual hardware itself. None of the hardware ever gives me any issues whatsoever. Their software does. Like, every single time, if there is an outdated driver for one of my mice, everything on my entire computer will start to go haywire. My audio will cut out. My games will shut down. My computer will slow down. I'll think I'll have a virus. It feels like I have a virus. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's because there's a Razer update that for some odd reason hasn't loaded into Razer properly. And now I have to go download it off of their website to install it. It's so annoying.
My Logitech keyboard has lasted 20 years. Yeah, I think that like once eventually some of this Razer stuff goes out, I'll probably switch over. I'll probably switch over unless they sponsor me, and then they're the best company ever. Really didn't save the Monster Hunter World. It's really a shame they didn't save the Monster Hunter World name for the inevitable MMO Lite iteration coming down the road. I don't like. I kind of like I agree with him here, kind of. But to be honest, at the same time, I don't think that they're gonna do an MMO. I mean, maybe they would. Isn't Monster Hunter kind of already an MMO Lite in a lot of ways? You can join in on hunts and things like that. There's multiple progression, big bosses and stuff like that for you to fight. I mean, in my mind, it already is. Except for it being like a fully open world game. Yeah, what light version? Yeah, I don't really actually understand that. A source with knowledge of the situation told me that Black Myth Wukong is not currently on Xbox because of an exclusivity deal and is not delayed because of any sort of technical issue. Like, what are they? I don't know, man. Either way, like, regardless, it's Xbox's problem. F? Uh-oh. Yep. It just popped up on YouTube as well. I'll give it a second. Bro. Anyone else with connection problems? No, it's me. It's me. It's for some odd reason, like Twitch's bitrate or something like that screwing me over. Stream is dead again? Yeah. Yeah. It's back? Nah, it's back. Refresh. Oh, come on, man. Did it come back on Twitch or no? Frame drops and no sound. Who else checked their router? Is Twitch smoother? No, Twitch is having the same problem right now. Both of them are popping it up. Oh, God, I don't have to do this. Give me a second. Come on. Trying to find a solution real quick. Literally just today, too, by the way. Literally just today, I just left their like community Discord. Why isn't it showing it to me? Here we go. Hello, Mr. Kitty Cat. Now is really not the best time, to be honest with you, though, buddy. Yeah, we're good now, but no sound. Of course I can't fucking... Jesus. So there's audio on YouTube, but not on Twitch. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Give me a minute here. Did I not join it? Hi, buddy. Come here. Yeah, I need you not to stand in front of the screen. Okay? What is happening? Come on, man. No thanks. Join. There we go. Pending application. Stop. Right now, buddy. Give me a second. I'm trying to fix it, guys. Sorry. I'm doing whatever I can. Like, apparently, like, that's awesome. Everything wants to update right now, apparently. Yeah, I get help. Next. Finish. VIP support. All right, I'm talking to support. This is crazy, dude. I love having technical issues. I don't know, because everyone else's stream is just fine. Just checking it's working. Yeah, no, it's broken.
Maybe. Maybe we're okay now? I think everything should be okay now. So far, so good. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that should fix the issues. I talked to their I contacted their customer support on Discord, and I think it fixed the problem. It seems like it did, at least. I'm hoping it did. Big Gaming trying to take out our boy. No, so like what it is that Streamlabs, when it reset my stuff, it reset my bit rate down to like way low, and then I put my bit rate back up to what Twitch's minimum it says is, which is 6,800. And then I talked to Streamlabs, and they were like, it should be at 6K. They're like, I wouldn't put it any higher than 6K. So this should be okay. We should be alright. We should be alright. Hopefully it doesn't run into any more problems. I think we're back. I think we're back. I think we're good. All right. Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. I haven't watched this yet.
Genji's story is...
I haven't watched this yet, but the one thing that I'll say is this, is that, like, I remember old G4 TV, okay? I remember the old Game Awards, where the old Game Awards were, like, the most cringiest, pandering, like, it was such a backhanded make fun of gamers situation. Oh, never mind, he's kind of laggy. Am I? It might be I don't know. I'm hoping it's not. Am I good for everybody? No lag here, all smooth. Fine for me. Okay. Okay. All right. It's probably just some folks. So I remember the old G4 TV days, okay? Where they used to have, like, it was like the cringiest stuff that was out there, okay? It was the cringiest stuff that was out there. It was terrible. Let's be real. Sometimes it was funny. Sometimes it was interesting. I loved watching it, especially when, you know, you're younger. You just want to watch gamer stuff. It was like the best. It was the best network ever, right? It was just a bunch of video game content. I could come home, I could turn it on, and I could watch stuff about video games. And this is like really before YouTube like got its huge pop off, right? And I don't think people remember how bad, like how cringeworthy some of the humor was. I don't even know if I'm prepared to watch this.
Hey legendary drop, just watched your con video, and it was perfect. Gaming journalist need to actually start doing their jobs and play the game instead of focusing on unrelated flaws.
I gotta get this thing fixed. People are gonna get the wrong idea about me. Thank you for the $10, man. I really appreciate that. I gotta get this TTS fixed. People are gonna get the wrong idea. Hey, Legendary Drops, just watched your video on Wukong and it was perfect. Gaming journalists need to actually start doing their jobs instead of focusing on unrelated flaws it might have. Yes. Yes, they should. Thank you for the 10. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. Please don't fix it. It's perfect. It's so fucking embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I remember when I watched G4 back when I was in high school, and the title of the episode they had was MILF, and in it, they had parents sat me down and asked what the fuck I was doing. Fix, there's nothing to fix. I know. All right. Let's see how bad this is.
Genji's story is based on the Genji period of Japanese history. Well, we're not exactly sure how, but can you really blame us? Because who knows anything about Japanese history? There were some samurai, they periodically killed themselves, a rat learned judo, and they invented a religion that sanctifies small trees and fat guys wrestling. Then we nuked them. That's what they turned into a real country.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. It's way worse. Oh my God. This right here, this show would have never been able to be around with Twitter. Holy shit.
To see what the PS3 can do with a hack and slash that's not bound up with a complex storyline like the vast pageant of Japanese history, here's our review of Untold Legends.
So this is actually something crazy, okay? So okay, man. So there was this is a long while ago. Not a long while ago. This is last year. So last year there was an interview with Naoki Yoshida, the developer or the producer and director behind Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy XVI. And he had a interview where I want to say it was Skill Up or somebody like that that asked him a question about, you know, what do you think about the state of like modern JRPGs and stuff like that? And he brought up how he didn't like the term JRPG, and the vast majority of developers in Japan don't like the term JRPG because they viewed it as a derogatory way to categorize their RPGs, right? They're like, oh, well, that's a Japanese RPG. And they're like, no, it's a turn-based RPG, right? And he's talking about it because he said it was like not negative connotations that the Western gaming industry was placing upon Japanese-made games. So everything was always like, rather than it just being classified as a video game, it has to be classified as a Japanese video game. And the funny thing is that at the time when I heard that, and for most people, we looked at it and we were like, well, that's just kind of a weird way to say something. Like, why would you get all like, but then now you go back and you look at the way that like, and like this really even wasn't all that long. I mean, this is like 20 years ago, right? I think, or maybe 15 years ago, something right around there. And you see the way that people on like American television are talking about Japan. No fucking wonder these dudes are like, don't call it a Japanese RPG. Like, I get it. Because like the thing is that like this is some backhanded shit, man. It's funny. I'm not gonna say it's not funny. I laughed. You laughed. We all laughed. But this is some backhanded shit that it's just like, man, why would you say that? Why would you say on national television? What the fuck? Wow. That's wild. That's wild. What is this one? I've been watching old episodes of X-Play, and it's interesting to see how gamers, how they set. See, and that's the other thing too, is that like both like G4 TV, early 2000s, gamers were stereotyped very hard, right? And this is before like being a gamer was cool. Like if you were a gamer, that's edgy. You were edgy being a gamer. Gamers are edgy. Not anymore. Gamers are not edgy anymore, right? And back then was a different beast, man. Yeah, no shit. But so this is their portrayal of gamers, how gamers felt about Metal Gear Solid 2 at the time.
To blow it out of the water at the touch of this button. To the Patriots.
The Lale Lule Lo.
Lale Lule Lo!
How's that possible?
What do you guys know about the Lale Lule Lo?
We have a problem.
I was thinking the same thing.
Bro, this is not even true. Are you kidding me? This and that's the thing. You guys have to keep in mind. Back then, like, Japanese made games were always like dunked on in the early 2000s because of how wordy they were, how much dialogue there was, how much story there is, how much those how long and drawn out cutscenes were. Like, there was too much content. That's what their complaints were. As a Theron, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for tier 1. Back then, playing video games was a stigma. It was a stigma. If you were a video game player 20 years ago, like, you were a nerd. You were sweaty. You didn't shower. You probably didn't have any friends. You had no social issues. Like, there was all these stigmas that people would place around gamers. And the worst part is that popular media would just amplify it even harder. Like, G4 did a terrible job at trying to bring us out of the light. You know what I mean? G4 did a terrible job at making us look good. They had some really good TV, don't get me wrong. A lot of their shows are really good. I liked X-Play more times than not, but at the exact same time, when you look bad at it, man, like, you guys are taking us like 100 steps back. Making us look bad.
Now, I don't think I'm the only one to have this problem with Metal Gear Solid 2. And to be fair, Metal Gear Solid 2 isn't the only game to have this problem. But for a game that is so high profile, it was a great disappointment to have so many moments where I wasn't able to play the game.
While you're
Down a hall, only to watch another cutscene.
Did I tell?
Bro, it's a spy game. It's a spy game. Stream dead again, or is it just me? Again. Give me 1 second. I got to download a diagnostic report and send this across to Streamlabs. I'm sending it to them now. They're helping me in real time. You're good to go? Refresh. Audio is out. Everybody stay where you are. Am I getting errors on Twitch? It's not really telling me anything. Alerts? No. Stream manager? It's back? Good now? Yeah, it's back. Yeah, you're good at the moment. Error 333 or error 3000 on Twitch. Shift and fixed it. Oh, okay. Okay. Our audio desynced and refreshed and it was fine. Okay. Maybe it's just like a buffering issue. I got a notification on Twitch and it's just like randomly saying like, oh, hey, or not on Twitch, but I get a random error on YouTube that's like, oh, hey, you're, which I have it on low latency. But I don't know if that's actually going to fix anything.
Tell you could move. It's all right. He's not one of the bad guys.
I'm not saying that Metal Gear Solid 2 shouldn't have a story, but the game shouldn't have to stop down to have to tell it and then have gameplay that does nothing to forward the narrative. Now, another game that uses the same device and has as convoluted a story as Kojima's title is Deus Ex.
Holy shit. Not your internet? I don't think it is. I can check real quick. Speed test. Run speed test. Nope. My latency speed right now is 3 ms, and I'm getting 456 download and 450 or 493 upload speed. So my shit's popping. Speeds and stuff are good. Running other tabs in Chrome? I don't think so. I completely understand your frustration on this. Just for the moment, while I check your diagnostic report and we get some troubleshooting done. Okay.
But in this game, the cutscenes are spaced apart, and you see them after a long.
Damn, my internet is dog shit. Yeah, fiber. Fiber is so damn good. Just got to the YouTube channel. YouTube just got into the channel a minute ago. Looks good here on YouTube. Okay, just making sure.
It's almost like it's a reward. Another excellent example of this is Conker's Bad Fur Day, where you really want to see the cutscenes because they're so funny, but you only earn them after solving a puzzle within the game.
Bro, it's so funny to hear somebody talk about Metal Gear Solid like that, especially somebody that at the time was like a professional reviewer and somebody that was also like, somebody that was also like, you know, a pretty prominent figure in gaming at the time. Obviously, he's fallen off quite a lot since then. But, like, could you imagine saying that kind of shit? Could you imagine saying that about fucking Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty? Like, oh, it's so dialogue heavy and the gameplay is not like, whoa, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your mind. Like, it's a covert game. It's a spy game. It's a stealth game. Like, so of course it's going to be slower. And yeah, it's going to be more wordy.
I hate these guys.
Games might not be the right venue to tell tales of that nature. And game makers might want to step out of the shadow of other media. Games are games. Movies are movies. If you want a bunch of plot twists, there's always Dick.
I don't know what he's going to say there. He got cut off. There's always something. I don't know what he's going to say. Probably nothing good. That's crazy. I remember part of the Nintendo forum when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out and the meltdowns over the switcheroo. The IGN/GameFAQs boards were something else too. Wonder if that stuff is still archived. Where can I watch these? X-Play Compendium. Oh, wow. So you can actually go back and watch like old X-Play. That's crazy. Somebody actually archived all of them.
A lot of the old X-Play reviews were borrowed from the GameSpot review or were written directly by Jeff Gersman. I'm trying to debate the sounds. Wow, that's crazy. Honestly, didn't know that. Yeah, Oh, so GameSpot worked for G4 at the time, so that's the reason why. I mean, he's not wrong. What? Yeah, okay. If Adam Sessler was still here, he'd be screaming for all of you to call him a gamer. The outrage over the bait and switch was such a more prominent among fans of launch. Yeah, I know that there was some like drama over like the initial launch of Metal Gear Solid 2, but he says that while standing behind Baldur's Gate. I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy for him to say that when you're standing in front of Baldur's Gate and you're talking about something that's like wordy and dialogue heavy and slow. And then you also bring up Deus Ex, like making Deus Ex sound like it's a bad game. That's just crazy to me. So, I saw that Concord's been getting a lot, or it's not Concord, but IGN's been getting a lot of flame lately for their review on Concord. And I think this is actually a really interesting discussion. Sony's bonus kicked in, so Concord, Star Wars Outlaws, and Starfield are all 7s. I don't think these 3 games are on the same level. Even I would agree that Starfield's a better game. Even though I don't really like Starfield, even though, I would definitely say that. Very fun sci-fi shooter that shows real promise. 697 player peak. Less than 200 players playing right now. Less than 300 players. Less than 200 players all time. Man, it's not good. Grab a copy of Overwatch off some dusty GameStop shelf and rub it under the musky armpit of the Guardians of the Galaxy's Peter Quill, and you might have something close to the feeling of Concord. Oof, the writer here of this review sets the stage with that opener, which is crazy. So, like, if I'm not mistaken, in their review, that this is the line in their review saying that grab a copy of Overwatch and dust off and rub it under the armpit of Peter Quill, and you might get something close to it. Like, for you to say something like that and then give the game a 7 is just wild. It's wild. Because the thing is that thanks for the 10. Thanks for the 10. Oh man, what is this? For the error you're receiving on YouTube, let's refresh the connection between YouTube and Streamlabs. Can I also have can I have you disconnect and reconnect your YouTube account to Streamlabs? Log off Streamlabs. You can force a log out. Oh man, now they're like trying to get me to like shut down my stream and like unconnect my YouTube account and then reconnect my. I'm like, I can't do all that shit right now. I'd rather just like drop stream and refresh stream more than anything else. I cannot laugh every time I see the TTS plays and never gets changed. I know, it's too good. Let's go Blues. You want to get banned? Blues suck. I don't even think hockey rivalries are even that hot anymore. Not like they used to be. I get like the blues one is still kind of there, though. Like a lot of the players have been like kind of switched around and stuff like that, so you just don't see a lot of them all over the place. Penguins fan, see, you're just as hated as much as the Blackhawks are. See how they'll treat you after you get 2 first-round picks. Oh man. So like one thing that I will say is this: is that like at its core, and I can see this across most of the reviews for Concord, is that the game is actually pretty good. Like from a gameplay perspective, like moment-to-moment gameplay, game actually controls really well. You know, fidelity's pretty solid. It's just that it's not a memorable game that delivers on an experience that's already out there that you can play for free, that has characters that people are already attached to, and the value proposition of this game just doesn't resonate. And not to mention, it's just like the looks of the characters and things like that. There's just nothing about this game that's attractive. And I realize like one of the reasons why people are really upset about the fact that IGN would score the game a 7, especially with how they do that with pretty much everything to begin with. But one of the things that I guess it's kind of hard to do, because like is it a journalist space, or is it their responsibility to include in their review of the product, right? Because this is what I'm asking for. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. LD, what do you think a video game review should be from a professional video game review website? What do you think that should be? I think it should be only about the game. That's it. It should be only about the game. How does it play? How does it look? How does it feel? What was your experience playing it? That's it. Yet the thing is that what a lot of people are asking for, or what a lot of people get upset about, is, yeah, but you're not talking about how bad it's doing. What does how bad it's doing have to do with its score? This is this person's idea of what it was to experience the game. In my video that I just put out today talking about Black Myth Wukong, one of the things that I talked about was the fact that look at how upset these game journalists are that they're not allowed to talk about things that don't have to do with the video game in their review. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what I want. I don't want them to talk about anything other than what the actual experience is of using the product, because that's what they're there for. You are there to tell me, are there technical issues? Does it not play very well? How does it feel? Was the story interesting? Were the characters interesting? Those are the things that I'm not going to a review to find out whether or not they're talking about how the rest of the industry or how gamers themselves are responding to the product. That has nothing to do with the review. The only place it does actually have something to do with the review is if the game is not doing well, you can mention it, but it wouldn't have anything to do with the score, right? If the game's not very popular, it's something worthwhile of letting people know, especially since it's a $40 game, because you want to make sure that you're making sure that everybody is knowledgeable of the fact that there's not very many people to play the game with, right? There are too many factors why Concord doesn't gain gamers to this point. It's just a lukewarm-looking game for $40. Yeah. Well, it's a lukewarm-looking game for $40 that is competing with free-to-play games, right? How much does Sony pay them to give them a 7? See, but that's the point that I'm getting. Like, and here's the thing. I would actually say that, like, from what I've seen and from what other reviewers and things like that I've seen, the game shouldn't be a 7. It should be like a 5 or a 6. Because it's just painfully mid, right? It's just painfully mid. That's what it is. I will say this too. I think that reviewers, and something that they don't often do, I think reviewers should actually, price should be in the discussion. So there was a conversation that popped up recently. Very AFK.
it might be really hard to be able to find his tweet on this. So the here we go. I don't love the artificiality of pricing structures post retail. Use the inflated base price to upsell a subscription and use vague content promises to inflate ultimate editions to make the base price look better. It all seems a bit dangerous and disconnected from the community. Yes. So, and then he goes on to talk about, he says, almost all games should cost more at the base level because of the cost of making them. Inflation, for one, is outpacing pricing trends. But I don't think that we'll get there with DLC promises so much as quality and communication. Everyone is just waiting for GTA 6 to do it. So what he's saying is that video game prices actually on the bottom level should be higher than what they actually are. But, and somebody actually wrote an entire article off of this tweet, by the way. And one of the things that I'll say with this is that this part, he's not, like, this part I have a problem with. And it's not the post-retail, it's the whole shebang, okay? It's the artificiality of pricing structures across all video games. One of the issues that players have with games across the board is the fact that we have so many games that are out there that are charging the exact same price but not delivering on the exact same quality, level of experience, play time, type of game, all those kind of things. There's all these factors that are sitting in the same seat and they're charging the same price, but they're not worth the same amount of money, right? One of the reasons why Helldivers 2, regardless of where Helldivers 2 is right now and the issues it's been going through, one of the reasons why Helldivers 2 was heralded as such a great game at the time and why it was so popular, because for the money it was charging, for $40, it was worth it. It was beyond worth it. You were getting more game than you were bargaining for, right? You were getting a great experience, a multiplayer experience, a ton of hours of gameplay, something that was super fun, really high quality. It met the money, right? Black Myth Wukong, a $60 game. That's a steal. By extension, when you price a game fairly to the experience that you're delivering, it's going to be received better. And I think that discussion actually should fall in line with reviews. I think that should be a part of the discussion with reviews. When pricing affects quality, making it worse, expect higher quality prices, I say fuck no, and they complain of lack of sales. Yeah, and see, and that's the thing. Price goes up, quality goes down, and that's exactly what's been happening to us, right? Want to talk about Escape from Tarkov pricing? Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Like, how does Escape from Tarkov feel that it can charge like $300 or $400 now for the Unheard edition or whatever the fuck it is, right? Every time they want to add something to the game and then say that it's actually not a part of the pricing. Now that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the artificiality of pricing structures post retail, right? Post retail is a completely different story. That's like, here's our main game, and then now we're going to create a bunch of different versions of it so that we can try to, milk more money out of you down the road, right? There's so much variety and options. What doesn't feel attractive? Perception of good. People don't spend money. Free market. I don't think is so much. I'm kind of confused by that. So it's one of those, and I think that, by the way, this is where to go. I think this is a really good example of this. How much differently would Concord have been received if it was a free-to-play game? Personally, I think it would have been better. I think it would have been better. I do. Do I think it would be popular? No. Do I think it would be a contender? No. Do I think it would have 200 players? No, I think it would actually have more. And I think that people would have received it a lot better. But the fact that they're trying to charge $40 for it, and then you also have people that are out there that are like, oh, well, and this is so fucking weird. Oh, so weird. For some odd reason, one of the defenses that like gaming journalists have been trying to throw up for Concord is the fact that it doesn't follow normal live service trappings when it has a microtransaction shop. I guess it doesn't have a battle pass yet, but who gives a fuck? So because it doesn't have a battle pass, it's now all of a sudden worth $40? What? What? No, that's not the problem. The $40 isn't the the $40 is the issue. And on top of that, there are plenty of games that are out there already that already charge a premium price and still have a battle pass regardless. And not to mention how many single-player games are starting to bring in battle passes. I have never been more disgusted with video games when I fire it on and it's a goddamn single-player experience with a fucking battle pass. Diablo 4. Oh, but Diablo 4 is, it's like MMO light, it's, semi-multiplayer. No, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Everybody plays Diablo 4 single player. Sure, you'll probably hop on with some friends and do some random dungeons and grinds and stuff like that, but 99% of the time, you are playing the game by yourself. It is a widely single player experience. Wait, was that Kermit the Frog? Yes. Every time I picture somebody saying something stupid, they sound like Kermit the Frog. Who's starting this trend, man? Fucking C-suite executives. That's who it is. Board of directors. Investors. I should have talked about this. Capcom investor call Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds won't release on the Nintendo Switch because it's utilizing the latest technology to its limit, which is what Capcom told a shareholder who asked whether or not it would be launching on Nintendo's console. During a shareholder Q&A, Capcom was quizzed as to why Monster Hunter Wilds wasn't announced for the Nintendo Switch. Why will this game not be on the will this game be limited to these non-portable consoles? The shareholder openly mused, highlighting the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, which the Xbox was confirmed for. One concept we've incorporated into this title is to portray the maximum of the world of Monster Hunter by utilizing the latest technology to its limit. To that end, the platforms capable of realizing this concept are currently the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. That was Capcom's response. Capcom also states that it will provide more through details regarding these concepts and themes. This isn't the first time that Capcom has spoken about technological ambitions with the new game. Spectacularly, Capcom was also asked why it wouldn't bump up Monster Hunter Wilds release date from 2025 to 2024 in order to capture more profit. This is the investors' call. The investors go, why aren't you putting it on Switch? Why aren't you releasing it this year? We'll make more money if you release it this year. This is what they deal with. Now, the difference is, Capcom says, sit back and let daddy make money, where a lot of these other companies don't. They say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Master, what else can I do for you? Would you like me to trim the hedges? Dust the vases? Monster Hunter started on PS2, if I remember. It did, yeah. Yes. Compare this to Capcom, who are releasing 2 collections that are guaranteed to sell like hotcakes because one has 8 games and 0 microtransactions. Yeah, Yeah. People in suits are the bane of video games. Fuck, I hate to be like one of those guys, but it really is that situation. It really is that situation. It's whether or not you have the nuts to tell your investors to shut the fuck up and just collect your check. That's really what it comes down to. Like some CEOs, some board of directors have the nuts to say that. Hey, how about you sit the fuck, spend a lot of money investing into our company? That sounds good. What do you know about making video games or selling them? You don't. You don't. So like, and that's the thing. Like, there's so many factors that go into a lot of this stuff. Again, I haven't got a notification yet. Try to refresh. Starting to lag again. Maybe I have too many windows open. Maybe it's actually my internet. Bitrate is in single digits. We're back. Everything okay? Vibe check. Hi, buddy. Hi. Even setting it to the lowest bitrate doesn't help. Now it's back. Now it's back to smooth. I don't know what that means. Smooth? Oh. So speaking of Monster Hunter Wilds, somebody sent me this video that Monster Hunter Wilds might have a huge problem as World and Rise. Might have the same huge problem as World and Rise. I'm interested to see what this is. Let's see what this is. This is from Mug Thief.
So this is a video that I've debated many times on if I should do, because it's a topic that I think a lot of people don't want to talk about. But it's important. And that's that Monster Hunter Wilds has a huge problem. And that problem is, and how if we look at Capcom's track record and the history of Monster Hunter, it's kind of safe to assume that the game will release either light on content or even partially unfinished. And
is it your PC? I don't think so. There's no monsters in the game. Yeah, it's just all fucking dinosaurs. This is what I set up. This is what I set up for. What are you talking about? Here we go again. Is it still having issues? Pause for a few seconds if your webcam feed is stuttering and the audio is delayed. Definitely seems to be on your end. Other tabs. It is it is a computer. Like, I don't think it's my computer. I don't know what it is. They're telling me that I need to like disconnect my my YouTube and my Twitch and then like reset my accounts back to everything. I do multi-stream all the time. I multi-stream every time I stream. I never have an issue. Yeah, it's not something super simple, no. Yeah, I already did a speed test too. My speed test, I have 500 megabytes up, 500 megabytes down, and 2 ms. So it's not my issue still. Getting a lot of stutters here too. Just close your browser. It's a cache issue. Close your browser. I don't think it's my browser. Usually stream more than a couple hours. Could reboot, scatter, then assemble for a few minutes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I'll type a message to make sure that nobody misses anything. Okay. Oops. We're going to take a 10 to 15 minute break. Okay. 10 to 15 minute break. I'm going to turn it all on and I'm going to turn it all off again. And then I'm going to dance around and I'm going to try to put some like, I don't know, try to put some tinfoil up or something like that. I'm going to try to do this thing that Streamlabs wants me to do to try to fix things as well and see if we can get it. Okay. Stream will be back up in about 10, 15 minutes. Let me try to fix this. Okay. Love you guys. I'll see you in a couple minutes. Think we're back. Waiting for everything else to catch up to make sure everything is all good. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, I've done everything and more. I've done everything and more. I'll say that. I've done everything and more. I did everything that they asked me to do. We love tech. Yeah, I know. I think YouTube's back up as well. So far, so good. Okay. I also, have we tried dunking the router in napalm? No. No. Sounds good. We'll be here if it still occurs. There may not have been a good enough connection between YouTube causing a ripple effect to hit Twitch as well. I don't know. I have support like over on the side as well, just in case if I run into any more issues. Hopefully I won't. Because I mean, like, I just so what I went and did is I went through, I completely unlinked YouTube from my whole system, basically. Signed back into all of it, so reconnected it all back to the streaming application. Then I reset my router, turned off my PC, and turned my PC back on. And I even changed browsers. One of the things that I've been meaning to do for a while, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it, was getting rid of Opera GX. I was using Opera GX for a while because I like to make sure to have two separate browsers. Maybe it sounds dumb, but like I like to have like my actual like YouTube account and all that stuff on one separate private browser that I don't use for anything other than uploading videos. No web searching, no nothing. Like, it's literally just there to upload YouTube videos. I don't do anything else on it at all. And then a separate browser that I use for everything else. It's dumb. It might sound stupid, but I try to make sure that I keep like everything that I have as separated as possible. So basically, I went through this. So this is a long time ago. When I went to video game design school, right? One of the first classes that they end up having you take is actual just like personal online security.
to try to like make yourself a little bit harder to track down on the internet, to make it a little bit more difficult for people to get your information, those kind of things. Just general internet privacy more than anything else. And in it, one of the things that they try to make sure that you do is that you just keep different accounts in different places, different browsers, different devices, and then make sure that what you do is you just don't you try not to cross-pollinate too much, because otherwise, like if you use the same browser for everything that you do and the same device for everything that you do, then it's really easy to get control of all of your stuff all at once, right? But if you're using, as an example, like I don't really do like a lot of general browsing. Well, I do a lot of general browsing on my computer. I take that back. But like, I don't use any like volume. Is there a volume issue? There shouldn't be a volume issue. Oh. There is a volume issue. I was quiet. Elgrind, thank you for the tier 1, 4 months in a row. Thank you so much. Twitch stops reminding you of what? I thought I had put everything back in order, but I still hadn't turned my volume up on my microphone. I don't know why it automatically sets my microphone down. To give you money because you do a great job. Yeah. So hopefully this worked. And I also just switched browsers, so now I'll use Firefox as my second browser, and I'll use I use Chrome for everything YouTube related. Kind of makes sense, right? Google for Google. Love your content. Your passion is obvious, and I appreciate your videos on YouTube. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed it. Gato? Yes. Don Mateo. What his name is. Don Mateo. King of the house. Runs this shit. Pisses me off. Can't stand it. I don't feel like I'm well represented in this household. I'll be real. Yeah. All right. Let's try to watch this video again.
So this is a video that
Let's try to watch this video again. Let me make sure. Let me know if like the audio and everything's okay. It's a lot.
debated many times on if I should do, because it's a topic that I think a lot of people don't want to talk about, but it's important. And that's that Monster Hunter Wilds has a huge problem. And that problem is its content. And how if we look at Capcom's track record and the history of Monster Hunter, it's kind of safe to assume that the game will release either light on content or even partially unfinished.
I don't remember Monster Hunter World. I don't remember Monster Hunter World releasing with not enough content. It's not safe to assume. Yeah, that's a really weird thing to take. That's a really weird thing to say. Yeah, World was fine at launch. There was plenty of content. There was a ton of hunts. There was endgame activities. And then slowly but surely, they ramped it up with more optional hunts and things like that through events and whatnot. Monster Hunter World is not a live service game. It's a $60 price tag that you pay. And then that was what you got. Capcom has actually been pretty good with their games, actually. Yeah, that's a really weird thing to say with their track record. The same thing goes, if he's going to say that Rise had the same issue, that it didn't have enough content, Rise had a ton of content at launch. One problem I find with Monster Hunter is with the rest of unneeded microtransactions. I don't disagree with that. I think their microtransaction policies are garbage. I don't really like the way they go about doing it. I think there's other ways you can go about doing in-game monetization, and I think they don't do a very good job of it, to be honest with you. How do you think chat would feel? We just get shrugged and backsided when Cat wants your attention. That's how it is. It's also the reasons DD2 got hated. Well, I mean, yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 got hated on for like dumbass microtransactions, but to be honest with you, like they were kind of a non-issue. Like, I understand why people were upset about it. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna like defend the microtransactions. I still think it was fucking stupid. But I mean, most of it was like completely useless to begin with in the first place, right? Like there is some there is like some issues and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's not that bad. Straight out of the gate, disagrees. It's only a minute in. Yeah, we're not even a minute in. It's 25 seconds in.
And that's basing it off the history. That might not be the case, but I think it's the safer assumption to make. And there is a lot of newer Monster Hunter fans that might not be expecting the game to be like that, especially people who joined later on in World's life cycle, and a lot of people who skipped Rise. We have to talk about how Monster Hunter now is a live service game, and Wilds very probably...
What? I'm sorry, but like... Is Monster Hunter a live service game? Monster Hunter doesn't have battle passes. It doesn't have like monthly content drops or anything like that. They do events and things like that. They do expansions, but it's not a live service game. Where is this coming from? Yeah, it's not a live service game. He's talking about Monster Hunter now? Yeah, I don't know. Monster Hunter Rise or Worlds are not... I would not classify those as live service games. Not even close.
Will double down on its post-release content timeline, and some people might not like that. And in the current climate of very extreme reactions to things, people will look at Monster Hunter Wilds on release and say that Capcom is giving them an unfinished game and promising to finish it later. And that's all fine and dandy. That's how the internet works. I'm doing this because I want you to have your expectations in check. And these...
I fundamentally disagree with this position entirely. It almost like I'm not trying to take a shot at the guy or anything like that, but I kind of feel like you're making up an issue that's not even an issue to begin with. Monster Hunter World had plenty of game. Monster Hunter Wilds had plenty of game when it released. Now, there's a difference between the people that fucking cook the game and just eat it and consume it within, you know, a few days of its release or something like that. But Monster Hunter World had a ton of stuff to do. What was the max Monster Hunter rank or master rank? Mountains out of molehills? It's not even molehills. There's not even a hill there in the first place. Not even a bump in the road. I mean, you're talking about, and these aren't live service games to begin with. So when you're talking about content, like the only reason why people would be tripping about content if it was a live service game, but it's not a live service game. Oh, Monster Hunter Now is a Pokemon clone made by Niantic. Oh, yeah, I don't think that's what he's... I don't know. On your Wukong video, what's your obsession with the phrase, the market decide? It's precisely this mentality that gave us so many boring, unoriginal copycat games. I mean, you're welcome to your opinion, but I'm just gonna fucking ban you because you're coming in here like a dickhead. So you just good luck with that, big dog. He's actually wrong though. It's not a disagreement if an opinion is based on non-existent data. Yeah, I know, that's the thing that I'm having a problem with. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to like go it doesn't make a lot of sense to, like, from the position that he's already trying to attack it from, where he's saying, oh, well, you know, because it's a live service game, it's all about the content. Like, Monster Hunter games have a story progression that you play through, main quest story hunts that you go through, with side quests as well. You level up your mastery rank. There's usually a couple of, like, end game boss, you know, hunts that you can go on, but outside of that, that's pretty much it.
ban speedrun? Like, yeah, I mean, if you come in here acting like a fucking prick, what do you think I'm going to give you my time? Get the fuck out of here. Tourists? Yeah, but fuck. Act like you come up and talk to somebody like that in person. I do believe Bunny talks about Monster Hunter Rise at the release. The content was lacking, and they did drip feed it. See, I don't know. Rise drip fed its content. Did it?
These are not pie in the sky speculations or doom posting. I'm
so
this
glad to see
off
this
of-
guy. I'm so glad to see this side of you. You ever seem so kind. I know.
all of the data we have of the entire history of Monster Hunter and how the franchise has worked and
I would imagine if you watch my videos, okay? I would imagine if you watch my videos, there's a really good chance that you're going to be able to say, huh, this guy's a no bullshit kind of guy. That's what I am.
where it's trending towards. And once again, let me repeat it. This might not be the case in the end, but it is the most probable one. Now, saying that Monster Hunter historically, including World and Rise, has released light on content is very subjective. Some people will tell you that they think that the content is fine and that the games are very full-featured, and I think
I wonder if people are saying this. It's good to warn newest players that the content is rolled out on a timeline. I don't really see this as a problem. Capcom isn't asking you for anything extra for what they add to the game. Iceborne, Sunbreak, actual expansions, Iceborne, Sunbreak. Narwhal was there at launch, just not Allmother. Yeah, Narwhal was definitely there at launch. Is he talking about Rise? Have you ever played Monster Hunter before? Greg never came from the get-go. It was just one person English. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know where he's coming from with a lot of this. I don't. Who shared this? Almost 1 a.m. here. Gotta head to bed. Cheers, folks. Good night. Yeah, night, Mud.
that you should evaluate on a case-by-case basis. Hey there, sorry, editing mug here. I just wanted to clarify on that live service statement, since some people consider live services differently. Some people think that it's only if they have season passes, for example.
Okay.
For me, the definition of a live service is a game that, when you look at it compared to its 1.0 release, the version that you could get on a physical disc if you buy it, versus the version that exists after a series of updates, are fundamentally different. And as you'll see later on in the video, from all sorts of things, be that just very basic things like layered armor and layered weapons, or the total number of skills available, the abilities, the total number of monsters, locations, even endgame mechanics, Monster Hunter World and Rise both fit that definition for me. They are very...
Yeah, but here's the thing. You can't just change the definition based on what you believe. And if I'm not mistaken, like, the vast majority of the content that was added to these games was added through expansions, right? Or was a lot of the content just slowly put into the game? I don't know. We'll give him a chance to cook, but I don't know where the fuck he's coming from here. I'm gonna be real with you. Oh no, not again. No. It's not a connection issue, is it? I see two people say uh-oh and another one says oh no. It's not breaking, is it? It's scuffed again? It lagged out, but it's back up on YouTube. So glitchy. Muted. So much for Streamlabs support. No shit. What the fuck is going on? Next step I'd like you to do, everything's fine on YouTube, good on your end, no sound, panic. Working now, we're back. Okay. You're fine for me on YouTube, and it's back on Twitch. Okay. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to play games today. No lag, no sound issue here. Everything's good. Okay. It's maybe it is Streamlabs. It might be a Streamlabs issue because like the guy just so the guy asked me to do a ping test. 32 bytes of data. 38 ms, 35, 35, 35. Literally no issues at all. Have you tried Streamlabs? That's what I'm using is Streamlabs right now. That's what I'm using is Streamlabs right now. Yeah, we'll continue with the video for a little bit.
Very different in their final patched versions than they are if you put in a 1.0 version of the games right now. And you can just...
I mean, but that's every video game ever made. That's the other thing to keep in mind too. Like what he's saying is every video game that's ever been made. The vast majority of them past 1.0 do get some major updates and content and changes to the game. That happens all the time.
Disagree with that, give it a different name, but I think you can't disagree with just how radically different the games are from launch to their final forms, and whether you consider that a net benefit or you see it more on the side of these are things that should be there at launch, that's a different question entirely. Again, this video is just to make sure people understand that
I would also say this, by the way, as well. You know, looking at a game like Monster Hunter Worlds as an example, Monster Hunter Worlds was a cultural phenomenon. It was a massive hit. The game was huge. The game is actually what has catapulted it. So I made a, and also whoever subbed and whoever gave away subs anonymously, I missed that because I got muted. But thank you for the two gifted, for the two anonymously gifted subs. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. One of the things that I'll say is this, is that Worlds was a cultural phenomenon. It was huge. The game was massive. It blew up. Absolutely exploded. And it took Monster Hunter from a game that was popular, but popular within a niche, to just popular. And I actually made a video on this a while back and nobody watched it. But in that video, I kind of discussed it where like Monster Hunter Wilds has the potential to be Capcom's biggest game, highest selling game of all time, because right now it's Worlds. Worlds is their biggest, most selling game of all time. It's their biggest game they've ever made, right? And with that, I think that Wilds, since Wilds is tapping back to Worlds rather than Rise, that there's a really good chance that they're going to see an even bigger adoption because there's so many people that are hungry for newer experiences. And there's people that probably avoided playing Worlds even now because, they felt like they got onto the train too late. And I think that with Wilds, you're going to see a much higher adoption rate of new players. This next test, while it doesn't include YouTube, it's a good indicator of your connection overall for streaming services. Please run this Twitch test tool to find out the best server for your stream. Hold on. I'm just like running some other stuff in the background. Sorry about that. How do you sub? I figured out how to give subs, but not to buy one for myself. So you, it's this same button. It should be on the screen. I'm not really too sure. When you, like, if you're on mobile, it should be on the screen, like, right as you, like, if you tap the video, if it's in, like, vertical mode, you can see it. It should be, like, right here somewhere, like, under the video to sub. As long as you have a Twitch account, obviously. And then, if it's on, if you're on... You're on PC. It's right here. You can't see it because chat's covering it, but it's right here next to the follow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hope that helped. There you go. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Okay. All right, we're back again for the millionth time. Please tell me they sorted their damn issues. I don't know. So like I unchecked one setting that they asked me to, and then now he's telling me like there's like one more thing that they can do. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna let it ride, and we're just gonna see if it works. It's back for 5 minutes. I'm hoping that it's gonna last longer than that. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I just want to enjoy the stream. I just want to enjoy streaming. It's like one of my favorite things to do. It's like killing my vibe, man. It's killing the day. The other thing that they're asking is that like after this for me to bind my IP to the Streamlabs desktop app. Advanced settings. Bind IP option. Change it to default to your local machines. Dynamic bitrate and low latency are disabled as well. If it doesn't work again, if it fails again, then I'll try that. If that doesn't work, then I don't know. The only other thing that I could think it could be is maybe that like one of them are having an issue. Either YouTube's having an issue today, or Streamlabs, or not Streamlabs, or Twitch is having an issue or something like that. This is crazy though, for me to have stream drop this many times. It kind of reminds me of this reminds me of like before I switched to fiber. Because before I was having issues with streaming, with dual streaming, and I couldn't get it to work. And the only way for me to get it to work was I ended up having to switch internet providers. Because I ran like 100 tests. All the tests were like your internet provider's the issue. And then I showed the internet provider the data, and they were like, "Yeah, that's not us." And I'm like, "Bro, it says it's you." "Yeah, that's not us though. Have you tried using a different router?" I'm like, "Fuck off." So I switched providers, and after I switched providers, I didn't have any more issues. Everything was fine after that. So this kind of reminds me of like the similar thing, except for I don't got nowhere to switch to anymore. It just sucks because every time it fails, less people stay around, right? And I get it. Like, fuck, I'd be the same way. What am I gonna do? Sit here and, wait through your problems? I'm here to be entertained, dog. Not worry about you and your problems. I get it. I'd do this exact same thing. I'd be like, I'm out. Hopefully it doesn't have any problems. Facebook stream? Yeah, we're taking it to Twitter, guys. Yeah, this is gonna be a Twitter stream now. This is the only day that I can commit to your stream. It sucks. Yeah. Well, if it helps at all, I do plan on I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to do it next week. I probably should be able to, because I don't have any like big script videos that are coming up. A couple smaller things that I plan on doing, but chances are I might actually try to stream 3 days next week. I'd like to get back to what I was doing before and being able to stream on like what is it, like it was like Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I kind of want to get back to that, honestly. I miss it a little bit, streaming 3 days a week. But at the same time, I have really enjoyed the quality of my uploads and how much more time I've had to be able to write and research and stuff like that. I'm glad you don't say X. Nobody says X. People that say X are freaks. Work messes up my opportunities. Yeah, I care about you, man. Thank you. You made me feel satisfied having a direct conversations. Yeah. It's all about entertainment and people being able to have a good conversation. Okay. All right, let's try to finish this video.
These games change a lot from their launch versions. But there are certain things that are factual, and it's the fact that the games have felt less and less complete as time goes on, and
from
See, I think the problem isn't a lot of people have this problem, by the way. This is a YouTuber problem. It's a journalist problem. It's a just issue overall. Even I have to, by the way, I have to try to protect myself from doing this, okay? Which is that sometimes you can lose yourself in perspective rather than being able to like stay to like objective facts, right? You'll claim something is some way, but is it really that way, or is it really just that way from your perspective? So for this guy to say like factual, this, you know, this is factually, what is it? Is it true? Or is it just true from somebody that's consuming the game at a much higher rate than most people normally do? Right?
That there is always the same pattern of the base game feeling more or less lacking in some areas, with the general fan base liking them, loving them. I think the Monster Hunter fan base loves the game so much that we tend to be very forgiving with them, and then we live off of hopium for the G rank expansion. That's more or less how it's always worked. But on top of that,
what is this? I can't even tell because he cut it off at the top up here. What count per game? The monsters available? Oh, there were 17 monsters to fight, 30, 31, 45, 59. So why would you be forgiving? You're like, you lost a couple monsters in here, I guess?
Off of hopium for the G rank expansion. That's more or less how it's always worked. But on top of that classic system of waiting for the expansions, World and Rise, taking advantage of, you know, the modern internet era, have also supplemented that by adding these timelines of content updates that sometimes feel like Capcom is finishing up the game and really filling out all of the gaps that they have in content. And with Rise, that's just directly finishing the game. Rise is a game that was not finished when it released. That is not subjective opinion. That is Capcom said that the game wasn't finished and they would be introducing the ending to the game in a patch. And even though a lot of people started playing with Monster Hunter World even within launch window, 10 million sales in the first 6 months, the game has sold 25 million copies, which means that 15 million people have, at the very minimum, experienced the game after some very important updates were introduced to it, and they don't remember the launch experience. Heck, even I, who played it at launch, can't tell you how the launch experience was.
I can. There was a lot of content. There were multiple areas for you to go through. There were a lot of hunts. I think that I'll say that the like the big boss hunt that you had to do, Zora Magdaros, that's who it was, Zora Magdaros. Like that was kind of like eh. And then there was also that like raid hunt that they put in where you had like 2 teams of 3 on either side that had to run through a gauntlet. That was also kind of mid, but for the most part, like there was plenty of content that was there. I don't think that the game was lacking by any means, and any content that they put in afterwards that they did, you know, either through collaborations or like small little content drops, they didn't charge anybody for any of that, and it was all just supplementary content until they got to Iceborne, and that was a full ass expansion that even revamped skills and the hook shot and all that stuff, right? Beetlejuice keeping you on your, or Basiljuice keeping on your toes, yeah. I can tell you the launch experience, about a week of an unplayable mess and bugs that fixed with hundreds of hours of content. Yeah. I had a very interesting take about New Game Plus. I haven't played New Game Plus yet. B-52 Bomber, yeah.
And as a side note, I'm going to show you just how many transformative updates were introduced I'm going to talk about some of the problems that these games had at launch, and doing so was not easy to do. It feels like the information of the launch versions of these games is buried. If you go to wikis, if you search for information on them, you won't find much. And a lot of the information that is out there is fuzzy. It's people remembering things. I had to first find and then dig through official patch notes from Capcom to really determine what was added post-launch and really determine how the game was at launch. And even then, I found inconsistencies within Capcom's patch notes that don't really clarify when certain things were introduced. There is no wiki where there's like, hey, this is the monster list of Monster Hunter World and everything that was added post-launch has an asterisk or something. No, if you look for it...
Well, I mean, that's not really necessary for them to have that kind of stuff out there in the first place, like leaving out documents for content creators to be able to research and whatnot. The other thing is, too, is that... So, like, I guess, like, the fundamental issue that I have with this kind of stance, talking about Monster Hunter World, specifically World. Rise, maybe, like, I don't really know what the launch state of Rise was. I'll be real with you. I didn't play Rise on launch because I didn't buy it on Switch. I waited for it to come to PC. I knew they was going to do it eventually, and I figured they'd do it once they put out the DLC. What I'll say is this, is that there is a growing hunger and expectation for the amount of content that is delivered when a game is released. And I will actually be one of the few to probably say that in a lot of cases, our expectations are outside what we should realistically expect for games to launch with. I think that live service games in many ways have stream is disconnected. Oh, God. Is it scuffed? Are we okay? YouTube's back and fine again. It's going to crash again. So what I was trying to say before I was interrupted by stream. Hold on. I think this time on stream we're here. Stop. Is everything good? Are we good or no? Is it down or is it down again? I'm gonna refresh it. I'm gonna refresh it real quick, real fast. It's gonna go down and come right back up. Okay. You might have to restart. It's gonna go down and then it's gonna come right back up. I know that you're saying it's good now, but I have to check a setting and be able to set it because now it's saying the keyframe intervals are too high. And the other one was saying the keyframe, it was a keyframe issue as well. So it's going to go down. It's going to come right back up. All you're going to have to do is This is horrible. This is just so bad today. Holy, dude. Holy. I think that if I have another problem, I'm just gonna have to shut it down for the day and just talk to their direct. I'll just keep talking to their tech support until we figure out what the problem is. They're like, oh, well, you know, reset your router and do this and do that. And I'm like, reset the router? Like, dude, I've already done speed tests, and I've shared it with them, and I showed them, like, look, there's no connections, no packet loss, no anything. Like, literally everything is like 100% green. But for some odd reason, there's an issue, and I'm wondering if it, there's no issue with me contacting them. It's happening on the delivery side. So I don't know if it's Streamlabs that the issue is with. The only other thing that I could potentially come up with is that it might actually be the is anything different from your stream before? See, that's the thing. So what ended up happening is that just recently, it was on Monday, I think. On Monday, when I went to go record, I opened up Streamlabs to record off of Streamlabs, and when I did, it had me logged out of all of my stuff. It had me logged out of everything. And I was like, what the fuck? So then I logged into it, and it's just like, oh, so what do you primarily want to use Streamlabs for? And it's like, what the fuck? What do you mean? I just signed in. I've been using this app for fucking 2 years. What are you talking about? And then when I opened it up, all of my ratio settings were all off. Like, all of my display settings, resolution settings were completely off. So it had it had Streamlabs set up like I was trying to record off of a cell phone or something like that. And I'm like, what the hell? So then I had to go back in. I had to change all of my settings. I had to reformat everything that I have, and then get it up. And then once it's good, after that, everything was I had no problem recording or anything like that. My recording came out just fine. I didn't have any issues there or anything like that. And then obviously we streamed today, and we've been having problems. If it happens again and you still want to get your Warframe weeklies done, send a shout out in Discord. I'm sure many will respond. Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of people will jump on that. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the deal. I'll just I'll let everybody know this. If for whatever reason, if stream goes back down, I'm just gonna go live on Twitch until I can get the issue fixed. That's what I'll probably do. I'll just if the stream goes down, I'll cut dual stream and just try to stream on one alone, and just try to stream on Twitch and see if that works, okay. And then that's what I'll do. So if it goes down again, we're just gonna stream on Twitch and see if that works. Maybe try out OBS tomorrow as a test to see if it's a Streamlabs issue. I could, but the problem, it's more difficult to set up. There's a lot more to it than Streamlabs is nice because it allows me to be able to do there's a lot of convenience in Streamlabs that's not in OBS. So that would take me a little bit more than just I mean, I could try to look at it tonight and, see if I could use it as a proxy, as something to use in the meantime. But also at the same time, I pay Streamlabs. I pay them each year so that I can use their servers to stream, because basically, so this is how it works. So if I use OBS, I will stream to both. At the exact same time, my computer and internet will stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. The service that I pay for, I just stream to the service, and then the service streams to YouTube and Twitch. So it takes a huge load off of my computer and a huge load off of my internet. You don't have that option on OBS. We talked about getting your account wiped. I don't know. At this point, I have no idea. I've done literally everything that this dude has asked me to do. Everything. I've bound my IP to my Streamlabs. I've changed all my settings and set everything the way that they've asked me to set it. I've ran every test that they wanted me to run, and nothing's come out. At least the other times that I've had issues. See, and this is the thing. This is the reason why I'm like relatively forgiving with Streamlabs, is because the last time I had issues like this, they very quickly pointed out, this is not us. This is your IP. And it was pretty easy to see, and they made it really obvious. And I, looked into it more and found out how obvious it was. And then once I did, then everything was Gucci. And then I didn't have any problems ever since then. Right? Yeah. So I haven't had to use their services whatsoever. Use Adium multi-stream on on OBS instead. I don't know what that is. Talk with Zach Rar on what he uses. Dude should definitely help you out. He likes your content. He definitely help you out. Yeah, that guy has enough on his plate than to help me with my little baby stream. Like believe me, the guy has enough on his plate. Last thing he needs is somebody else trying to knock on his door and ask for help on something as simple as this. Plus, on top of that, he doesn't dual stream. He only streams to Twitch. There's a reason, by the way, why the vast majority of people only stream to one platform. It's because it's easier and it cuts down on a lot of technical issues. Personally, I would like to make the switch over and just stream on Twitch only. I like Twitch more as a streaming platform. I think it's a lot more social. I'll say that. Though to be